Yo, what's up? Gonna start talking right away for those of you that will watch this later. But people have been wanting me to do more live videos, and actually the live videos are easier for me to do because all I gotta do is just sit down, record, and then it's like, ready to go. I'm not sure how many people will see this or will I don't know, want to jump in. I feel like this is maybe an odd hour of the day to be doing this, but I don't know. We'll give it a go. And I'll just start teaching stuff, I guess. And if anyone jumps in, then you guys will have me all to yourself. It's like a private stream, I guess. So, well, one thing I want to talk about before I start teaching anything, as I'm eating a knockoff brand of Cocoa Puffs. They're not really all that good, I'm gonna be completely honest. But one thing I want to talk about, probably really annoying I'm eating, but whatever, is that I think that we as Glovers need to expand into different forms of posting our content. I think the way that we've traditionally been doing it is starting to get old and needs a bit of a refresher, So, sorry. My next point being that I've been saying this, but I'm really gonna say it this time. If you do anything creative, you need to be on TikTok. Just gonna leave it at that. It's just a great way to spread your content, to show people, what you do. And it's the only app where you can have zero followers, and have millions of people watch your video. It's crazy. You can't do that on any other social media platform except for TikTok. So whatever it is, if it's gloving, if it's not, and you have something creative that is just the best app for it. The rules for copyright are just, it's way easier for someone like me who wants to post that type of stuff, like videos, gloving videos with music and stuff, who gets flagged all the time. It sucks for people like me posting on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, stuff like that, because getting flagged for copyright, and there's only so many choices that you can really pick from. And I know there's a lot of non-copyrighted music, but there's a lot of copyrighted music that I really want to, that inspires me. And it's unfortunate that isn't an option, so yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. So I guess I'll just teach a couple things, and if no one joins, then you guys can watch this video later. And maybe we could set up a time in the week for me to go live. I don't know if the morning is really the best time. Probably not. But I know a lot of people are at work and school and stuff like that. I work in the evenings, and audition during the day, so my schedule is always like going up and down. But yeah, so guess I'll teach some stuff while I'm on live. So one thing I wanted to talk about a little bit was tutting, and in more of a general scope of things. So I see a lot of people like posting their tutting videos and stuff like that, and feeling like, oh, doing like sloppy angles, stuff not really looking correct or clean. And then I hear a lot of people going, oh, but that's just my style. So obviously no one's going to argue with you if you're saying that that's your style, but you know, it's to a certain degree having the foundation down, and just in any gloving concept in general, you know, having the foundation, you know, solid is going to make the moves look a lot cleaner. So for example, if we're using tutting, because I really want to emphasize, because like a lot of people get, you know, defensive when someone else says like, oh, your angles aren't clean. And when they're saying the angles aren't clean, they mean that there isn't a, you know, a very clean 90-degree angle when you're doing stuff like this, or when you're doing straight lines, it's kind of crooked. You know, so sometimes people do their tuts like this, which is pretty common when you're first starting, because it's hard to make that line flat. You have to really kind of think about it. Our hands kind of want to do this, you know, these like duck wings, whatever you want to call them. But keeping the angles flat is going to allow you to, or sorry, not flat, keeping them sharp and clean is going to allow you to be able to expand upon that further, you know. So if you happen to be one of those people that says that's just my style and the way I do it, that's okay. But I'm telling you now that you would want to, you know, having the clean angles is going to make it a lot easier to expand off of it, because it gives you a very clear path on how to either trace your hand or transition into the next king tutting, you know, portion of your move. So for example, if, you know, this is the most common tutting thing that people learn. People start like this, and they, you know, I think everyone learns this. It's the box shape, right? From here, making a box. Now, if my hands were kind of dented in like this, you see how I'm losing the clear line on where to travel, right? Where and also the person watching, you know, they're going off of shapes that they see and recognize. If you're doing a shape like this and trying to make a box, no one can really identify the box, you know what I mean? So making a sharp angle like this allows the viewer, or whoever's, you know, if it's a video or, you know, giving a light show, for whatever it is that you're doing, people can identify that and react to it, you know. Now, if you don't care for people to react to it, you're just doing this in the comfort of your own home and you don't care, then that's totally fine as well. But that's my 2 cents on what, you know, king tutting should really look like. You know, having the angle straight, again, it's not only for you, but for the person watching to be able to, you know, understand the concepts that you're throwing. I just see a couple of people jumped in. So if you guys have anything you want me to teach, go ahead and leave a comment, and I'll try and get to it. But right now I'm talking about king tutting and keeping the angles clean so people can identify it, and so you can transition into other moves. Clusters. So I'm personally, like, I'll just be 100% honest. I don't use clusters that often. I know what they are. I can do like very fundamental cluster type movements, but it's just not something that I normally do. But I think the biggest thing to keep in mind when you're doing clusters is understanding that it's all about really isolation and finger control, you know. So like if we're taking just like 3 points, for example, right, like a triangle, and we're trying to separate that by each finger, right, that requires being able to isolate the movement of each finger, so people can see that that cluster is separating, or whatever it is that's happening. Same thing when you're doing like digits and stuff like that. There needs to be clear finger isolation so people can, you know, see what's happening in the movements, right? And go, oh, like again, if we're taking the same triangle, people know, oh, the triangle is separating, right? Versus it just being like, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's a screenshot moment for you. You know, so I think that all the really technical moves come down to the same thing of finger control and isolation. Isolation meaning being able to do specific movements, right? Being able to do specific movements while other fingers or your other hand is not moving, which requires muscle control. So I hope that's helpful. That's, again, I don't really use clusters that often, but that is, that's my kind of take on it. I think clusters are very close to digits, and, you know, they're all kind of in the same family. So yeah, maybe that was helpful. Let's see. What else have I been watching recently? I think another thing is that I've been, you know, on the line of clusters and king tutting, since I'll just go off those two topics since I was talking about those today, that, you know, also incorporating musicality into those movements is going to also allow for people to, or for your movements to be accentuated, right? So again, if we're taking that same cluster, right, from here, and we're opening our hand up, right? If we're doing that on beat, people are gonna be like, oh my God, right? And then it accentuates that movement even more. So yeah, I'm not gonna get to, because also I'm not like a huge fan of clusters really, but I still appreciate them, you know, but it's just not in my personal style. Another comment I just saw was good stretches. I think the best one that I have done over the years is for finger isolation as well as stretches is literally just this. And then in terms of isolation, I would put my hand like on a flat surface, like on a desk. I did this when I was still learning stuff I mean, I'm always still learning stuff, but when I was learning the foundation, you know, the basics in high school, I'd lay my finger on the desk and I would lift each finger one at a time. And I would just do that over and over and over until I could go through it mindlessly, you know, and really work on finger control. Because that's really what's it. And finger control is, it's the whole thing, you know, even like if you're doing finger rolls and stuff like that, you see one finger's moving before everything else is moving. So you have to be able to isolate those movements. For me, like these two fingers, these are just my problem fingers. They've been like that forever. No matter how many stretches, warm-ups, anything I've done, these two fingers just get stuck. I've found ways to like hide it in my gloving so people can't really tell. But you can see like when I go to close this finger roll, it just, I can't get these fingers to isolate. Just, you know, and I've stretched them, I've done everything, just doesn't work. So you got to just see what works for you. All right, so my goal was to get to 15 minutes, so we're about at 15 minutes, so that was dope. Thanks for the couple of you that watched. Anyone who watches this later and has any other suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. And don't forget to, you know, subscribe if you're new. And also if you guys are shopping at Amazing Lights and you guys want to save some money, or if you made it this far in the video, you get a discount code. Use code BLITZEN and you'll save 10% on anything that you purchase at amazinglights.com. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'm hoping to do more of these because this is really easy for me. I don't have to sit and edit anything. You're very welcome. Thanks for joining. So yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.